Well, taking a trip through Panderville and lack of common sense land, here we have two characters straight out of Looney Tunes themselves. Oprah and Ku Klux Kamala came together for an interview, right? Which ended in just a disaster, okay? And quite frankly, we knew this was going to be the case, okay? We know Kamala Harris has no plan for America. She has no plan to fix the economy, and she really doesn't care what happens to the American people, okay? We're being replaced. That's her plan. Okay, these immigrants, there's no plans of really fixing the border. They're the ones who created the problem. And there's a plethora of issues with that. But here we have it. We're going to get right into this interview, and I will be breaking this down and giving my own thoughts and commentary on it periodically throughout the video, more so on the back end. This is a reaction channel. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. And welcome to the King Squad. This is the best reaction channel on YouTube. And if nobody told you today, I hope you guys are having a great day. You guys are awesome. Everybody woke up this morning, and I hope everybody's making their money legally and drinking their water. No, this is not financial advice. Shout out to the King Squad family, the King Squad elites. And let's get right into the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share these videos and tag me when you share them. And that way I can repost them. We're going to get right into this. See what's going on here.
Something happened to you the moment President Biden, stepped aside and withdrew his candidacy, that a veil or something dropped, and you
yeah, she was selected and not elected.
just stepped into your power. I mean, literally, looking at you at a speech like the week before, which was a great speech, very nice. And then the next week, I saw you walking in the thing. And I said, what happened to you?
You know, we each have those moments in our lives where it's time to step up.
Time to step up.
Time to step up, you know?
Well, the moment you heard, I mean, I really have been saying to people, it felt like a veil dropped and you sort of stepped through that veil. Did you feel like that?
I felt a sense of responsibility, to be honest with you. And with that comes a sense of purpose. But I mean, we're all here and you all are taking time out of your busy lives, everyone here, everyone on the screen, because there really is so much at stake. You know, I have spent the majority of my career being concerned about the well-being of other people.
Yeah.
As I've said, my career as a prosecutor, I never looked at a victim or a witness and asked them, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay?
Are you okay? I know when I heard that.
You know?
Touch me.
And traveling this country and knowing what is at stake in terms of fundamental freedoms, what's at stake in terms of fighting against hate and those efforts to divide us. And I do know that I'm in a position to do something about it. So I felt a great responsibility. And
I just want to say this publicly, okay, and just, address this. Really going ham for Kamala, is a big F you to America. Like, for her to sit here and say, I just want to make sure, are you okay? No, we're not okay. People are literally suffering and struggling. People are debating on paying their phone bill or feeding their kids. They're debating on, do I pay my electric or do I pay my gas? Do I pay my mortgage or my car note? People are literally struggling out here. And these same people are the people that get up and work hard and grind to make sure America is, the country that it is. And you're like a big F you to everybody. Okay. And then she's letting in these immigrants, and then, for the people complaining about reparations, well, the immigrants got your reparations. That's how I see that. And then on top of that, I just really think that, the immigrants are that's her priority. That's who she's focusing on. Okay. That's the new Americans. It's a big F you to all of us. Oh, you guys are having kids, the everyday, working American that's, trying to put food on the table. Well, that's too bad. We got these illegals coming over and they need a house too. Their kids need food. That's a big F you to us. And so for her to sit there and say that, it kind of just made me really question it. Like, wow, like where do you care about, if we're okay? That's the hypocrisy is abundant. Let's get back into the video.
And the incredible power of the people, right? Who, I'm not the only leader in this. We're all knowing what is at stake in terms of fundamental freedoms, what's at stake in terms of fighting against hate and those efforts to divide us. And I do know that I'm in a position to do something about it. So I felt a great responsibility. And the incredible power of the people, right? Who, I'm not the only leader in this. We're all leaders in this. This is so much bigger than me. It's about who we are as Americans.
Really quick, we're gonna just like debunk that. I'm not the only leader in this, aka the government, okay? Because she believes in all that socialism and communism and stuff like that. Yeah, let's open the door for more government control to sabotage people's lives, okay? As we stated, the government doesn't make money, they take money. Whose money? Your money, okay? That's just what it is.
And it's about making clear what we stand for. And what we stand for is about the ideals upon which we were founded, including the importance of freedom and the importance of independence and the importance of dignity and purpose. But it is also about what we stand for in terms of our values. I think of it this way.
I think a lot boils down to values. I just said values are on the line here.
It does. I mean, think about it.
Values.
The idea that some would suggest, and that my opponent suggests, which is that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down. Come on. The real measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. And it's important for us
absolutely
to articulate that.
Ever since the debate, we feel for our fellow citizens in Springfield. Do you not think about the fellow citizens in Springfield, Ohio, the Haitian families, the non-Haitian families, everybody having to deal with this lie that has endangered the lives of Haitian people and anybody who looks Haitian? Everybody in America feels for that. And everybody in America, left, right, middle, has concerns about immigration.
Yeah.
And I'm told that Justin, where are you in the audience? Justin.
Hello.
In our audience.
Hello, Madam Vice President.
Hi, Justin.
You live in Michigan.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you love saying hello, Madam Vice President?
I do.
What's your question? It's an immigration question.
My question for you is, when you become president, what would be your specific steps? Yeah, of course.
I just don't understand how you see Kamala Harris and you get excited. I see Kamala Harris and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, she's literally about to like usher in the Antichrist. When I see Kamala Harris, I think of the Titanic. I think everybody sunk and everybody got deleted. And I just kind of see that happening to America. I kind of picture like Kamala Harris. I saw like a video of like Kamala Harris as like the Joker from Dark Knight. And she's kind of just like, America's like the hospital and she's just, pressing the button, boop, boom. And like the whole country goes to crap. That's kind of what I picture when I see Kamala Harris. So for him to be showing teeth and smiling, I'm just like, really? Makes me cringe. What do you guys think when you see Kamala Harris? Keep it respectful, but like, let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get back into it.
What would be your specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question. My background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general for 2 terms of a border state. So this is not a theoretical issue for me. This is something I've actually worked on. Okay. I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border and ensuring the safety of the American people. Sadly, where we are now can be traced most recently back to the fact that when the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill. And here's what that border security bill would have done. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Let me tell you, those border agents are working around the clock. It would have just been about giving them some support and relief, which is probably why the border agents actually endorsed the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl. And I'm looking at people from all over the country here, so I don't need to tell the folks who are watching this what fentanyl has done to families, to kids in our country, and the need to take seriously stemming the flow, coming in.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Aside from the whole like fentanyl conversation, you care about kids now? This, like I said, the hypocrisy is abundant. Since when do you care about kids, Kamala? Like, literally, the entire left is literally not even fighting for anything. Like, there's like no real fight on their side. They're literally like the number one point they keep reiterating in attacking us with is Trump is trying to take away the ability to delete kids and sabotage, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So, you know, for her to sit back and say, you know, the kids matter and whatever she was saying regarding the kids and this sudden care for kids, I'm like, well, didn't at the DNC convention in 2024, they were like, they literally had a whole baby deletion bus. They were handing out vasectomies and baby deletions. So, I just can't get down with that, man. I like, as far as the whole baby deleting thing and you're fighting for it. Meanwhile, we're on the brink of World War III. You know, I can't get down with that. Okay, we got countries trying to. The election matters. You know, you got Putin saying, I like cackling Kamala. Yeah, keep her in office, because if Trump gets in office, yeah, no, Putin has to act right. What do you guys think about that? Okay, but with Biden, Kamala in office, America's weak. We're laughing stock around the world. So it's just a mess. I'm slightly like just going in and merging topics, but you guys get the gist of things.
Into our country and addressing that extraordinary and tragic issue in terms of its effect. The bill would have allowed us to have more resources to prosecute transnational criminal organizations. And it would have been part of the solution. And Donald Trump.
I don't know why he's smiling at Kamala Harris, because quite frankly, as much as I really don't want to say this, dog, if she gets nominated to be, if she gets elected as president, we getting drafted, bro. We getting drafted, bro. I ain't trying to get drafted. I'm gonna say that right now. I am not trying to get drafted and fight for a country that hates me. Oh man, please, what? Trying to destroy families and now I gotta duck and dodge. You know, thank you to everybody who served in wars and stuff like that too. We don't take that lightly, okay, over here. But I'm simply from a Gen Z man's perspective and looking at the state of the country. The country is in a wreck right now with the left in control. And then to just recklessly throw us out there in war, and now I got to duck and dodge bullets like I'm Neo from the Matrix. I can't get down with that. I don't know why he's smiling. Your future's on the line, man.
Called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill, and you know why? Why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he has put his personal political security before border security. Because understand, even in the intervening months, what that bill would have done to give support to folks who care about this issue. And this again gets to the point about what does leadership really look like? And is it about you or is it about the people? Right. Is it about running on problems or fixing problems? My work and my career has always been about saying, let's fix problems. Let's address the needs, because we know it's within our capacity to do that.
So to answer Justin's question, now that that bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely, and when I am elected president of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk and I will sign it into law.
Cap.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. A lot of cap.
Listen to this. A majority of young Americans, 18 to 34, say that the cost of living is their top issue ahead of the election. Let's take a look.
Groceries are extremely expensive right now.
I don't understand how people are affording life right now.
For so many Americans, the high cost of living is their top concern this election.
Rach, we have $435 to last us till the end of the month. Okay?
What? All Americans.
Well, Rachel and Garrett are joining us on Zoom from Pennsylvania, and I understand your sister and brother-in-law moved in, and you're hoping to save money to have a second child?
That's right. Hi, Oprah. Hi, Madam Vice President. It's nice to be with you all.
Yes.
Hi.
And so, what did you want to say to the Vice President?
I don't understand why they're smiling talking about children's when she's like Megatron when it comes to kids. I'm not talking about the chick on the screen. I'm talking about Ku Klux Kamala. Okay, she's like anti-family, anti-kids. Okay, they're fighting to delete babies, and y'all are showing teeth. Happy. I'm just blown away. What do you guys think about that? Okay, as always, please keep it respectful in the comments, but it's just wild.
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was, to get married and buy a home and have a baby. And now here we are, and our mortgage is incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And my sister and our brother-in-law are living with us right now so that they can hopefully one day do the same. And while it's beneficial for us because they help us pay off some of our mortgage, it's also beneficial for them because they can save on cheaper rent. But we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries.
She has no plan of doing that. I'm going to just say that right now. She literally, she's like pro-war. Like, it costs money, okay? Where is this money coming from? You. And then these people are saying, oh, yeah, what's your cost to bring down the cost of living? What's your cost? What's your plan to bring down the cost of living? And we want to get a home. I don't understand why they think they're going to get a solution from the problem. You're looking at the problem. The Biden administration. And then they just booted Biden. And now you got the Harrison Walz administration running to, run the White House and stuff like that and run the country. They don't have any intentions of being the solution. Like, they are the problem. And they will make life increasingly difficult on us. And life is hard enough as it is. So looking for an answer, you're like going on a wild goose chase, but like looking for unicorns. And you're not going to find it. So I don't understand why they think they're going to get an answer from Kamala when she's literally the problem.
So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging, which is when, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film, look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home. And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned by the woman we called our second mother because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Miss Shelton. So I'll bring all this together to tell you the way I think about it is, one, when people work hard and have a dream of buying a home, we should give you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is why part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy.
That is so stupid. That is so stupid. Let's just hand out 20. This is perfect because she's right with the other clown on stage, Oprah. Okay, you get a car. Everybody gets a car. This is like chaotic. Okay, because where is this money coming from, Kamala? And then I forgot to mention the whole high taxes thing. You know, they believe in that, high taxes and stuff like that. Let's just look at what they did to California and New York. Yeah. And then I already mentioned it's like every day costs $300. You take a trip out to California or New York, it's like you're spending $600 to $1,000, and all you did was breathe and take an Uber and buy a drink and eat maybe a Chipotle wrap or something, and all of a sudden you spent $1,000. Don't let your car break down if you got one out there. But yeah, the whole thing was socialism. She's a socialist at that. How are you? I'm just blown away at how these people are like delusional. The Lulu Island is packed, you guys. It's nuts.
Your first home, because people just need to be able to get their foot in the door, and then you'll do the hard work. Part of my plan is what we need to do to support small businesses, because my second mother was a small business owner, and I love our small businesses and our small business owners. They are not only business leaders, they are community leaders. They mentor, they hire locally, and we have so many entrepreneurs in our country who have great ideas, incredible work ethic, but not necessarily access to capital, because not everybody, like my opponent, was.
Bruh. She is literally discouraging people from starting businesses by upping these taxes. Okay, these taxes are like trying to kill business. She's trying to obliterate businesses and stuff like that. And we also saw this with COVID when they I think it was COVID when they tried to shut down mom and pop shops and stuff like that. I believe that was around COVID. I remember people talking about that. But yeah, and she knows nothing about business. Yeah, we're for small business owners. No, you're not. Not at all. What? I tell you, the hypocrisy is abundant.
Handed $400 million on a silver plate that he filed bankruptcy 6 times on. And so part of my plan is to give startup small businesses a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So that's part of my plan.
That's a teeny tiny business.
That's a business in
teeny tiny business.
It's a concept of a business, right?
Yes.
You know where I'm going. That's right.
Man, I mean, these people have no plan at all.
And it's still on paper with the $5,000.
Right.
It's still on paper.
It just hasn't happened, right? Part of to speak to you guys and your family and your dreams is what we need to do around giving middle-class families tax breaks. And so part of my plan is also to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that you can, in the first year of your child's life, have the resources to be able to buy a crib and a car seat and clothes for your baby, knowing that's such an extraordinarily important time in their development, and you shouldn't have to worry about how you're going to take care of their basic needs. All of this and more is part of what I plan to build, and I call it an opportunity economy. And it's basically about creating opportunities, knowing so many people have the ambition, have the aspirations, are working hard, but just need opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams.
I saw you smiling with that $25,000 credit for the home. I saw that smile on your face and the $6,000. Thank you all so much. I want to just introduce to Shelby, who's also in our virtual audience. Thank you, guys.
What's up with the husband saying nothing? He was like radio silent. Let's get him to speak. Have him speak up. He's just sitting there, just silent, like she answered their questions. Nah, man. She said literally nothing. And, oh, yeah, we're going to give $25,000 for homes to who? Okay, let's ask those questions. Who's getting that money and where is that money coming from? And then on top of that, the $6,000 child credit, I just don't see that happening. And on top of that, they're not for kids.
Shelby from Virginia, who's also struggling with the cost of living. Tell us your story, Shelby. Why?
Hi, Madam Vice President. Hi, Oprah. I'm 24 years old. I'm a graduate student living with my parents.
I'm 24 years old.
And I want to move out next year and potentially buy a home. And I'm concerned about the affordability of one with the extra costs and bills that I'm paying now, along with the bills and costs I will pay in the future too. And so everything just has a cost and everything is so expensive. And so I'm worried about my capacity and how I'm able to fully support myself once I do live independently.
You sound like one of my daughter girls from South Africa graduated. She was like, I hate adulting. I hate adulting. This adulting isn't going so well. Yes.
Well, so first of all, congratulations on all the success you've already achieved. And it is your story and the story of our friends before you is really, that's the American story, right? You are working hard, you have goals, you have ambitions. And so part of it is, again, the $25,000 down payment assistance. Part of it is what we need to do to also push back against a very different vision for our country. Because look, in this election, there are two very different visions for our country. One, for me, that is focused on the future, including you, and another that is focused on the past. What Donald Trump, what my opponent plans on doing for the economy is doing what he did the last time he was president and giving another tax break for billionaires and the biggest corporations that would add $5 trillion to our deficit. And get this, he plans on doing what I call a Trump sales tax, which is basically he's going to put a 20% tax on everyday necessities that economists have estimated will cost the average American $4,000 more a year, which is why Goldman Sachs, which is why Moody's, which is why Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing our plans, one, mine would strengthen the economy, his would weaken it. Two, that on his plan, he would actually blow up inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So when you think about the cost of living, my approach is about lifting you up.
Invite a recession by the middle of next year. Well, I mean, the country's already in a very rough state due to the Biden administration. And God willing, when Trump gets in office, I really don't see it turn, it's going to take work. It takes time. Everything great takes time, okay? It's not going to just turn around overnight. What I'm talking about is the reconstruction of America after the damage that has been done by the Democrats. Quite frankly, if I'm not mistaken, the Democrats have been in power for like 12 years or like 16 years or something like that. You got the Obama term and then Biden's term. And then and now they're pushing for this Kamala Harris and Walt's term. And, the more left leaning we've become, the more, further underwater we've become as a nation. So, it's not going to just be like, oh, yeah. So I really just don't see it as Trump is going to invite a recession. I don't believe that at all. I believe that it's a possibility of that happening due to what's already been done. OK, cause and effect. And he's going to have to come in and work through that to get us to reposition us in a much more comfortable position economically. That's kind of how that strikes me. But you guys let me know your thoughts down about that whole thing down below. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys have to say about that.
Up. His would be about actually weakening our economy. And I feel very strongly when an individual, when a small business, when a family, when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you, Shelby.
Well, did she just admit that that America is weak? Because she's literally like eroding the middle class. So when the middle class is strong, then America's strong. But the middle class is like literally like being sabotaged by these policies and these super high taxes and the economy and inflation and all this other kind of stuff. And I really think she just like told on herself. What do you guys think about that? Comment down below.
Thank you, Rachel and Garrett. So the Harris campaign kicked off the Fighting for Reproductive Freedom bus tour to support the fundamental right for women to make decisions about our own bodies. And here is a short tape on that.
I did something that nobody thought was possible. I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
After Roe v. Wade was overturned, Tennessee put forth a ban immediately that banned all abortion with no exceptions.
And it was positive.
Hadley is here. Stand up, Hadley. I can tell you, we are all standing up because we are so impressed by your courage to stand up and share your story. Where did that come from, the strength to do this? Because I'm sure you thought long and hard before deciding to go public with your story.
When Roe v. Wade was overturned,
Thanks, everybody.
I woke up with a harsh reality of my abuse was over, but my story is not. And I just could not fathom thinking about the other Hadleys out there that don't have that choice, that don't have somebody to go to. So being able to find courage and be the light for them, that's really what I do it for.
And so what do you want to say to other people who are voting in this election regarding what happened to you and what that means?
You can't wait until it's too late to care.
We're going to just run this back to see what she actually said. Okay, what exactly is her story? So just out of curiosity. So
for the millions of you who watched the Democratic National Convention, you will remember Hadley Duvall telling her incredibly powerful story. And in case you didn't see it, here's just a brief look.
Growing up, I was an all-American girl. Varsity soccer captain, cheerleading captain, homecoming queen, and survivor. I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. At age 12, I took my first pregnancy test, and it was positive.
Hadley is here. Stand up, Hadley.
So I'm going to say something that not everybody may like or agree with, but like when God bless this person, that kind of stuff. But when I hear stories like that, I think of two things that come to mind. Well, one, where was your mother at? Because she positioned him there. She's the one who, got into a relationship with the stepdad and invited him into her life for this possibility to open up. And then two, where was biological dad at? Where was he at? Because I just heard about a story like that, in Texas, in Houston, if I'm not mistaken, and bio dad put 3 in the stepdad's chest. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, that's just commentary. It's just commentary. Anyways, yeah, God bless this person. I'm not knocking, the severity of the situation. Very, very interesting situation to be in. Nothing that we wish on anybody, but yeah. I'm guessing she deleted the kid or something.
I can tell you, we are all standing up because we are so impressed by your courage to stand up and share your story. Where did that come from, the strength to do this? Because I'm sure you thought long and hard before deciding to go public with your story.
When Roe v. Wade was overturned,
thanks, everybody.
I woke up with a harsh reality of my abuse was over, but my story is not. And I just could not fathom thinking about the other Hadleys out there that don't have that choice, that don't have somebody to go to. So being able to find courage and be the light for them, that's really what I do it for.
And so what do you want to say to other people who are voting in this election regarding what happened to you and what that means?
You can't wait until it's too late to care about reproductive health care, because then it's too late. And when it affects you, it hits, and you can't deny it. You can't look at someone with a story like mine and say it didn't happen. And there are more people like me out there, and there are gonna be so many more who deserve their options. They deserve their choices. let's get involved. We have someone who's willing to hear us at a level like never before. We have someone who wants to know what we want in this country. We have someone who wants to lift up our voice. And we need to show out and show up for her just like she's showing out and showing up for us.
All right. Is there something you wanted to say to Madam Vice President?
Madam Vice President, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for seeing us, for hearing us when the Supreme Court won't. Thank you for fighting and, you know, really showing us that life is not about the hard things that you go through. You don't bow down, even when you're the underdog, especially when you're the underdog.
That's right.
You stand up and you stand tall, and you give me so much hope and so much strength, and thank you.
Honestly.
Thank you, Hadley, for coming all this way. I hope you continue to use your voice. I hope you continue that. This week, the case of a young woman who lost her life after the abortion ban took place in...
I just want to know, why was the chick who supposedly had that horrifying situation happen, why was she smiling? And she was like very confident and very bold to talk about this and just stand up and, yes, it happened to me, yes. And then she's like smiling, sitting down. I mean, I would just think that that's such a horrifying situation to be in. I just question that kind of stuff, man. Not everybody will agree with me on that, but I've seen a lot of interesting things, and there's a lot of interesting people, especially in my generation, a lot of liars in my generation. I'm not saying she is, but I've seen some very interesting things. It's very common. It's just a YouTube search away.
Georgia made national headlines. Amber's case came to light through the reporting of journalist Kavitha Sarana with ProPublica. And so listen to her story.
2 years ago, 28-year-old Amber Nicole Thurman, a medical assistant and a single mother to a 6-year-old boy, found out she was pregnant. Amber had just secured her own apartment and was thinking about going to nursing school. She made the decision to terminate her pregnancy. A strict abortion ban had recently taken place in her home state of Georgia, which caused Amber to travel to North Carolina for the procedure. Traffic made her miss the appointment, so the clinic gave her medication, what are known as abortion pills. Once back home, Amber experienced profuse bleeding, vomiting, severe pain. She eventually passed out. Her boyfriend called for an ambulance. At the Georgia hospital, Amber's condition deteriorated quickly. In a rare occurrence, it was discovered her body had not expelled all the fetal tissue and an infection was spreading. Official Georgia State medical expert analysis of her case says Amber should have received a life-saving D&C, but doctors waited 20 hours before deciding to take her to surgery. Amber's blood pressure had taken a dive. Her organs had started failing. In the operating room, her heart stopped. On the way to surgery, Amber's last words to her mother were, "Promise me you'll take care of my son."
Amber's mother, Shanette, and older sisters, CJ and Andrika, are here, and they wanted to be here tonight to speak out for the first time. Ms. Shanette, what do you want us to know about Amber's story?
Initially, I did not want the public to know my pain. I wanted to go through in silence. But I realized that it was selfish. I want y'all to know Amber was not a statistic. She was loved by a family, a strong family. And we would have done whatever to get my baby, our baby, the help that she needed. When ProPublica came to my home, I pushed them away. No, but Kavitha, she was persistent. She said, it was something that you needed to know. You have to hear me. Women around the world, people around the world need to know that this was preventable. 2 years later, after speaking with my daughters, because I lost strength, I lost hope, You're looking at a mother that is broken. Mm-hmm. The worst pain ever that a mother, that a parent could ever feel. Her father and myself and the family, you're looking at it.
Well, we appreciate so deeply you being here. And we're all watching you hear that tape and those words. We know how re-traumatizing that is and the strength it takes for you to be here to tell your story. And we deeply appreciate it. And I have to ask you, as her sisters, how are you coping? And what does knowing that this could have been prevented, how does that sit with you? How do you cope with that on a daily basis?
I mean, it's heartbreaking. You know, that was my baby sister. I loved my baby sister, you know. Granddaughter.
Yeah.
Failed her.
Well, I think the most powerful...
And the courage that you all have shown is extraordinary, because also in her mind is preventable. And they did as he intended, and in state after state, including overdo the protections of Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. And they did as he intended, and in state after state, including yours, these abortion bans have been passed that criminalize healthcare providers. In a couple of states, prison for life, Oprah. Prison for life in a couple of states for a doctor or a nurse who provides health care. And so it seems very apparent.
Even when the mother's life is in danger.
But see, here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. So is she on death's door before you actually decide to give her help?
Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. That you've got to prove you're on death's door.
Like literally a doctor or a nurse has to say, she might die any minute, better give her now care. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise I might go to prison for life in some cases. Mm. Think about what we're doing in terms of saying that certain people who are in these state houses, and then starting with the former president of the United States, think they're in a better position than a doctor or a nurse to determine when their patient needs medical care. This literally, and Amber's story highlights the fact that among everything that is wrong with these bans and what has happened in terms of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, it's a healthcare crisis. It's a healthcare crisis that affects the patient and the profession. And going back to Hadley's story, and Hadley, you've been so remarkable in telling your story and being so strong in the way you do it. And both of these stories really, I mean, the courage.
I'm just going to say this again. This might be an unpopular opinion, but first things first, you know, to the people who lost that a relative and stuff like that, you know, God bless the family and all that kind of stuff. I still don't think it's a reason to vote for Kamala Harris. And tears don't convince me. OK, you know, bad stuff happens. Life happens. And it's part of life. And that can sound kind of cold. I don't mean to sound that way entirely. But I mean, giving birth to kids has always been a risky, you know, endeavor. It's always been that way. It's very new that we're out here just, oh yeah, you can just pop these pills and everything, you know. And then on top of that, within the sisterhood amongst the hyenas in the community, okay, then they're out. You give them, you know, this ability to delete babies, and then that's their form of birth control. And then I really, you know, it's to the point where after the boomers, you know, and I say this respectfully, but, you know, when the boomers go on their way, no disrespect to boomers, but the population decline is going to be rapid and insane, because people, if this goes through, you can kiss families goodbye. And that's just what it is. Okay, so, oh yeah, we're going to go see mom and grandpa, and we're going to go see our cousins and such, and this person and that person. All that family stuff is done. Family stuff is done. Our you know, amongst these new generations, everything is antisocial. You know, they're popping pills like deleting baby pills like it's candy, you know, deleting kids as a form of birth control, you know, not really, you know, having any foresight and not really planning out their futures. And then you know, it's really, and the damage that's done psychologically from doing these consistently back to back to back is just insane, you know. And I don't say this to knock anybody that may have done that. I'm just stating the, you know, the facts that it's a very serious thing. Either way you look at it, it's a very serious. Having kids is not for the weak. So with that being said, it would be wiser to not just go out and just put yourself in a position to just go and get pregnant. Okay, I would say we should put more thought into having these kids. Put more thought into the fact that, okay, this is a life-threatening, you know, situation, rather than just go out and get pregnant and, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to have this little cookie muncher in here. Let me just pop this Tylenol-sized pill and boop, and then the kid goes flushed down. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm being as respectful as possible because I don't want to sound insensitive necessarily, but I believe that's the right word to use. But I just, you know, deleting baby pills or World War III and then high taxes and then 4 more years of struggle and strife, I'm still voting Trump.
Y'all, I love that. That's a big takeaway because we're all feeling really good right now. But what really matters is what are we going to do? Absolutely. What are we going to do? Thank you so much, Star.
Just because you spoke with a whole lot of baritone does not make me take you more serious, Oprah.
I see somebody else on the screen, Julia Roberts. Hi, Julia.
Hi. Hi.
I heard you were so excited you wanted to be here tonight. Why?
Well, first of all, Oprah, thank you for...
Wasn't she in like Ocean's 11 or like Ocean's 12, I think? She was like George Clooney's like girlfriend or wife or mistress or something. I've seen her face before. She was like, I think she's an actor. Let me know in the comments down below.
For hosting this, because I guess if I started a voting club, it would be conversationalists for Kamala.
Yes.
Because to talk, to listen, to be heard, to have this back and forth is so unique in this campaign to beautiful, wonderful Kamala Harris, who I've had the good fortune of knowing. And I am a mother of 2 kids. This is their first chance to vote in an election. And I couldn't be more excited for them to have the legacy to say that their first vote they ever cast for president was for you. I have just chills saying that out loud.
Are you all going to the polls together? Are you organizing a party? Are the Motors having a poll party? What's happening?
I wish we were all going together. In fact, you know, they are in college, so.
Exactly. Thank you. And hey, there's Tracy Ellis Ross coming up there. Tracy, now listen, if anybody should have a voting party, I think it should be at your house because you have great parties, girl.
Oprah, I wouldn't be saying that after everything that's going on with Diddy. I wouldn't say great parties at all. I would just keep my mouth shut on that. Okay, I don't care who it is. If they're a celebrity and they have some type of power or status, I would not be mentioning parties right now. This is not the time for that.
I just want to say hi, hello, Madam Vice President. It's just an honor. I actually have never met you, which is crazy. And hi, Oprah. Wait, what did I miss?
We just saw each other the other day. Okay. Oh, hi, Tracy. Hi.
Hi, Oprah. How you doing?
Good. Yeah. This is exciting, though, isn't it? Isn't it exciting?
It's exciting. It's exciting because I believe in democracy. I believe in the future of our country, in reproductive freedom, bodily autonomy, women leading. I believe in decency. The idea of leading with joy and kindness has always been in my DNA. And I'm here both for the seriousness of this election, but the joy with which it is being handled. It is stunning. And then I also really want to remind everybody, it hasn't been mentioned, but voting up and down the ballot is incredibly important. Your freedom and your daily life are all the way up and down that ballot. People are policies, and we need the right people in all areas, all positions. And then I would like to say to you two women, thank you for what you represent, because as a 52-year-old childless woman, I want to say to the people who think that a woman's worth.
See, this right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Promotion of, the destruction of the families and stuff like that. Mind you, families already having a serious attack on them, but, we need families, okay? Or else the population will continue to decline, and it's all the more reason to usher in these immigrants. So it's just a bit of a conundrum all around, all right? And this is what's being promoted to daughters and people's cousins and people's nieces. This right here, Tracy Ellis Ross, I think that's her name. Yeah. And then Kamala's being promoted to young women as well. Girls my age, they look up to Kamala. I can just sleep my way to the top. And granted, that's been going on for forever, but to lead the entire country, yeah, that's a little too far.
Is measured in her baby count. I mean, shout out to all the amazing mothers, but the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture. I say that too because, it's like it's this thing that's being promoted where you can just sleep your way to the top, have a certain amount of intercourse with the right person, connect with certain individuals, and then all of a sudden you can be president too. And then you can experiment on the country. Because that's really what Kamala's going to do. There's no plan on fixing the economy or anything like that. We see how she's already operating things now, okay? We see who she elected as her vice president. We hear the stuff that she says that are her, supposed solutions. And she has none. If Kamala gets in office, everybody that, has a license in the United States of America turns into an experiment. And we all turn into lab rats and guinea pigs. Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to experiment on us, experiment in Walt's, tampon Tim. He's going to experiment on these kids. And they're just going to try. It's going to be a conundrum. It's going to be a mess. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, y'all want to do this. Y'all want to watch this country burn. I mean, Kamala Harris it is. I don't want to see that happen. And that's why I'm Trump 2024 all the way. But Kamala gets in there, man. Jesus. As aunties, godmothers, teachers, mentors, sisters, and friends, and the list goes on, and you do not.
All right.
Happened because it was a terrible thing, and it should not have.
I just get tired of everybody crying. Can we just get to the plans? Like, Jesus, I tell you, it's like, dag. Everybody's crying and sad. Like, is this a funeral? I thought we were sitting here listening to Kamala's plans on how she's going to, rebuild America, build back better, whatever Biden's whole thing was. But instead, it's just a cry fest. Everybody's kind of sad and blowing tears and snot. Where's the plans?
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. And I think that Doug has said it so eloquently, which is we just need to apply common sense.
Common sense.
And look, I think for far too long on the issue of gun violence, some people have been pushing a really false choice to suggest you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and I'm in favor of assault weapons bans, universal background checks, red flag laws. And these are just common sense. These are just common sense.
I thought it was so powerful at the convention when you said you have guns. No, at the debate.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Oh, clip it. If somebody goes in Kamala Harris's house, they're getting popped. And wow, that's crazy coming from the left, the Democrats. Everybody who's trying to ban guns and stuff like that. And shout out to CGA for bringing this point up. God forbid when the bad guys come, any bad situations pop off, the bad guys will have guns. It's best to arm yourself. I believe there's a verse in the Bible where, the men were instructed to pick up their swords, arm yourselves. I just think it's a bit unwise. Granted, I do agree with, background checks and do a psychological assessment or something like that, But then again, people will find a way to get guns. But, the way I see it is, it's better to have one than be without, because God forbid something happen. How are you going to defend yourself? People move different when they know that, I'm not the one to mess with. They'll think twice. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts? Comment down below.
Yes, I hear that.
They're
I hear
cackling.
that.
Probably should not have said that.
Look at her. Cackling Kamala. Yep. Caught in 4K. It's more like 1080p, but that's besides the point. But yeah, look, this is it. If Trump, God forbid, Trump doesn't get in office, this is the future of America, and it's not looking bright. No pun intended either with that. But yeah, it's not looking that great, okay? Because she's cackling, she's endorsing guns, even though they're supposedly against guns, and then it's just a mess.
But my staff will deal with that later.
But you have been a gun owner for a while.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
But here's my point, Oprah, is that I'm not trying to take everyone's guns away. I believe in the Second Amendment, but we have to agree that, look, I did last fall a college tour with college-age young people, so I also did trade schools, and packed audience every time in their auditorium, and I would ask, please raise your hand if at any point between kindergarten and 12th grade you had to endure an active shooter drill. Almost every hand went up. It was bone chilling.
Yeah, this is the way our kids are living. Yeah.
And think about it. I grew up, we had fire drills only. Well, I grew up in California, we also had earthquake drills. But the fact that our children are sitting in a classroom where they should be fulfilling their God-given potential and exploring the wonders of the world, and some part of their brain realizes somebody could bust through that classroom door with a weapon, with an assault weapon. And let's all agree that the trauma, so many children, even those who have not directly experienced the tragedy.
Just being in the environment. Being in the environment.
I cannot tell you the number of young people who, our kids had active shooter drills. They're concerned that there might be somebody who would kill them while they are at school. This is not the sign of a civil society, and it doesn't have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. But we need to have the courage to act. Look, my opponent, when he was told and knew about a shooting of a young girl, you know what he said? Get over it. Get over it. No, we're not getting over it. No, and to the point, everyone should have a sense of collective responsibility for the children of our community.
Yes.
And understand their right to live and be safe. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I know, I've seen autopsies. I've seen what these weapons do to the human body. And we've got to agree that, in particular when we're talking about something like an assault weapon, it's literally designed to be a tool of war. It has no place on the streets of a civil society. It's designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly.
But didn't she just say that if somebody goes in her house, it's a wrap? So, that means they're getting shot if they go in her house, so there's a possibility that she could even ride around with it. What about her security that has it? I just think she's contradicting with that. And I knew that was coming too. I knew that was coming. We got to get rid of the guns. Oh, do you have a gun? Oh, girl, I'm strapped. That's what she said. That's exactly what she said.
And there are things we can do. I mean, thankfully, over the last 3 years, we've done some, but it is common sense.
It just seems like common sense we would see this.
I think so.
I think that the majority of Americans agree with you that we do not want assault weapons in the hands of children and other people who have no business with those types of weapons.
Right.
We know this is true. So we thank you, Natalie, and your family for being here. And good luck in that marching band.
So I'm going to wrap this up right there. And so pretty much my own thoughts and commentary surrounding this. I really didn't hear her state any plans other than more like in the beginning. The rest of this was a bit of a cry fest and stuff like that. And let me get off these people really quick. But
and this year,
it was a bit of a cry fest and tears all over the place and not really any plans. Okay. You know, she pretty much reiterated what her plan was with the, you know, the housing situation and giving, you know, child tax credits and all that kind of stuff and opening the door for people to delete kids and, you know, typical Kamala talking points. But ultimately, this is not how you know, make a country better. You know, if anything, it sounds like she's going to open the door for, you know, more mistakes, more, you know, forgiveness of, you know, something that comes with serious consequences, with, you know, deleting children and, you know, that opens the door for people to struggle with starting families. So there's that. And they're going to make it easier for people to get houses that can't afford houses. But all that does is open the door for more foreclosures in my mind. And then I hear, like, when she talks, I'm thinking that she's going to definitely, you know, increase taxes and stuff like that because she's definitely pro-war. She didn't say that on stage, but yeah. She didn't say that she's not against war. And she's not against these immigrants, okay, moving in here. And the damage that's come with the immigrants is that stuff is only going to, you can't even really get rid of that at this point. The damage that the Democrats have done to America is just, you know, astronomical. So, you know, as far as Trump getting in office, it will be a very, you know, trying task in my mind. But that's all from my own thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys have to say about this. And I hope everybody's having a great day. Drink your water, take a walk, get a break from this negativity and stuff like that. Because they definitely want people, you know, they definitely want to tamper with people's mental out here. So all that stuff. And have a blessed day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.